Looks like we're recording. Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Eby. Pleasure to meet you. And this is our little Zoom session. I'm sorry this first one didn't work out. My computer, I apparently angered something in the internet. Some kind of AI is out to get me because nothing is working technologically. So, we're going to talk about the Building a Planet Lab. Nobody showed up, so it's not going to be kind of a Q&A, but I'm just going to walk you through some things that might help. So for Building a Planet, let me go ahead and share my screen. So what we're looking at here, so this is the Building a Planet. This opening exploration, this is really our rocks lab for this class. And it's just going to be some introductory questions about the structure of the earth and the crust and the rock. Most of it's available in the reading. So make sure that you read through each one of these questions or each one of these sections before answering the questions. Then we get into the experimental portion. So in this experimental portion, we're going to need, for us, we're going to need a supply of tap water. For me, that's going to be just a bottle of water because I'm sitting in my office. We're also going to need a graduated cylinder. This is the one that comes in your kit. Or a source of tap water and some paper towels. Tap water and paper towels, you're going to have to supply. As far as the materials in the kit, you're going to need your digital scale. Your digital scale comes in a box that looks like this. Graduated cylinder, pair of gloves, and then your unknown rocks. And your unknown rocks are going to be labeled building a planet. So you should have some rocks that look like this in a little bag. So we're going to determine the density of crustal rocks, turning on your scale. So when you open up your scale, make sure that you first open up the batteries because the batteries may still be wrapped in plastic. Mine has a little orange sticker that's just to remind me which kit this particular scale goes to. It's the historical geology kit scale. And your scale looks like this, and you'll see a little button on there that looks like there's a little symbol that looks like on. Okay, like the same as it's a circle with a little line on it. And just press that, on comes your scale. Now, you're going to need to measure out 200 milliliters in your graduated cylinder. So this is the graduated cylinder provided by the kit. You're going to want to use a bigger graduated cylinder provided by a kit. Notice that the markings, they say 90, 110, 130, 150, 170. So to get 200, you'll have to be in between the 210 and the 190. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And then as I get closer, I eyeball it. And you want to look at the level. If you look above the level of the line, got a few drops too much. If you look above the level of the line, if you have a few drops, just pour it back. It's going to look like it's below the line when it's actually not. You want to, or at the line when it's actually not. So you want to get real close down. Ah, that's way too much. You can see it takes a little trial and error. Okay, now I got my meniscus, in other words, that little line that it shows in the picture here. Below the meniscus is at just touching that line. It's bent down and it's touching this line. Now, the meniscus isn't going to be super dramatic in yours, simply because the graduated cylinder is so big. So when you have a little graduated cylinder, that meniscus, it looks really pronounced. You've got a big graduated cylinder, so you're not going to see the picture makes the meniscus look huge, like really like have a super dip that's very clear. That's not true. And that has to do with water tension versus the surface area, but that's beyond this class. So there's a video on how to read the meniscus. And what you're going to do is you're going to start by measuring the volume. So you're going to take one of your rocks. You're going to take rock one. You're going to take it out of the package. You're going to slip it into the tube. If your rock doesn't fit into the tube, do not jam it in the tube. You're going to end up with a problem. You're going to put it gently into the tube, trying not to splash. That can be a challenge. And then you're going to read the volume. The difference between those two volumes, the volume with the rock and the rock but without the rock, that's going to be your final volume. Now it says put it in the data table. Where's the data table? Data table's down here. So this is where you'll put your data. Then you're going to set your rock sample aside and you're going to do the same thing for your second rock sample. Now, next you're going to measure the mass of your rocks. Use this equation. You're going to measure your mass by weighing it on the scale. Where did I put down my scale? Make sure that your scale to get an accurate reading is on a flat, smooth surface. If you turn it on, it should say 0. Then you're going to take your dried, you're going to want to dry your rock off with a paper towel, your dried rock. You're going to put it on your scale to get your mass. So my mass for my rock is 19.37 grams. And notice there's multiple rocks in here. So if you're only using one rock, pick a rock and stick with it. If you mix it up, mix the rocks together, you're going to end up with absolute nonsense. Okay, on this next exercise, you've got an interactive rock cycle. And this is going to be kind of playing with the rock cycle and seeing what comes out of it. But basically what you're looking at to put in your data table for this is a description of this is an example. You're going to take a look at sediment. You're going to choose an action, and then you're going to see what happens. So for example, if you cool sediment, doesn't matter if you freeze it, it's not going to change. Taking a moment to load the animation. I don't know why. But it's a pretty straightforward animation. Let's go ahead. Now, just to warn you, I cannot reset the evaluation. So at the end, you can always redo anything in the exploration and the experimentation. I'm happy to reset those. The company doesn't let me reset evaluation. So if you're not feeling confident, by the time you get to evaluation, make sure you reach out to me because I need to help you walk through that before you take that evaluation because I can't fix it once you've taken it, okay? So this is building a planet. I'm going to do the next couple labs by Zoom. We're going to have a makeup because this session got messed up. It's been a pleasure. And please let me know if you have any questions.